DreAllDay.com.
Today I want to talk to you about owning your work. Understand that the more stuff you get for free in life, the more stuff you give away for free. And I don't mean like putting out quality content or value and things like that. But if you put in a certain amount of effort and you don't own your work, then you're putting yourself in a bad position. You're putting yourself in a tough position long term. And I'm going to explain exactly what that means in 3 steps. Number one thing, all you need to understand is that when you work, any kind of work you do, whether you sell it for money, whether you give it out for free to other people, it doesn't matter. Make sure you own your work. Own your work. One thing that led me to entrepreneurship. People always ask me, Dre, why'd you decide to become an entrepreneur? One of the main things was, I remember I was working at, where did I work at? I worked at like Foot Locker. Remember I worked at Foot Locker for like 6 months when I first got out of college. And I worked there, I did really well. I sold a lot of shoes, I was selling the merchandise and all this stuff. And I was working hard, I was showing up every day, never missed a day of work. But when I quit the job, all the work I had done in Foot Locker, what did I have to show for it? Nothing. The day that I quit the job, they stopped paying me. So all the work that I had done, all the customers who liked me, because they had a good customer service experience with me, who decided they're going to keep coming back to that Foot Locker and spending money. How much money is Foot Locker sending me for that customer who's still going there 10 years later? Zero. They're not sending me nothing. So they basically took all my work, the work that I did to help build their business, and they took it from me. I have nothing to show from it now. I have nothing to show for it now that I don't work there anymore. So number one thing is own your work. Whatever work you do, make sure you put yourself in a position that even when you're not doing that work anymore, any benefits that come from your efforts are still going back to you. That's what owning your work means. Everybody understand that? Owning your work means all the benefits from the work you put in, the efforts you put out, will come back to you some way, shape, or form, even when you're no longer doing that work, if there are benefits. Now, if there are no benefits, then I guess it don't matter. But if there are any benefits coming from it, make sure you are positioned to be the one receiving those benefits. Number two thing is this. Anything that you want to get in life that does cost something, if it costs $1, if it costs $1,000, if it costs $250, insist on, set a principle for yourself of paying full price for things that you want. Insist on the principle of paying full price for things that you want. And that means full price in money, that means full price in effort, that means full price in attention. Pay full price for things that you want, because I want y'all to understand. All of you have heard the cliche that there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? All of you heard that before? No such thing as a free lunch. Understand that anything that you get for free, somebody's paying for in some way, shape, or form. Anything that you get that you did not pay for, somebody's paying for it. Somehow, some way, it is being paid for. Maybe it's not coming from you, but it's coming from somebody. And understand this, the golden rule, or the gold standard, whatever you want to call it, the golden rule in life is this. Not what you think it is. It's not do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That is a golden rule, but that's not the golden rule I'm talking about. This is the golden rule. He who has the gold rules. He who has the gold rules. And what does that mean? That means the person who's coming out of their pocket and paying for stuff and putting the money down, paying full price for the things they want, they get to call the shots. They get to tell you how things are going to go. They get to dictate the outcome because they're the one paying the money. If you don't pay the money, you don't really have a say. That's why the phrase says beggars can't be choosers. Y'all have heard that before, right? You can't be a chooser and tell people how you want things to go if you didn't pay. Now, when you pay, you can have things exactly how you want it. You go to a restaurant, you don't like the food, you send it back. Why? Because you're paying for that shit, right? Now, you go when you're at home with your mom and she makes some food and you don't like it, you can't send it back and say, I want some more. She gonna look at you like you crazy, right? Why? Because you didn't pay for it. You didn't do the work. You didn't put none of the effort in. You just sitting there getting it for free. So understand that anything that you want that costs money, that costs any type of effort, any type of input or investment, insist on paying full price, because that's how you get yourself into a power position. And it leads right into number 3. It leads right into number 3. And this is why this matters even more. Because some of you might be thinking, well, I don't have a lot of money. You know, I don't have that much to spend. I try to get stuff for free so I can save money. This is what you got to understand. If you are a cheap individual, you're the type of person who doesn't like to spend money. You're the type of person who tries to get things for free. You're a freeloader. You try to get as many things for free as possible. You try to avoid spending money on things that cost money as much as you possibly can. You like to take it to the full out extent of exploiting your ability to get things for free, however it is you go about getting them. Understand this. Y'all know the law of karma, right? The energy you put out is the energy that comes back to you. So if you're putting out that energy of getting stuff for free, you're putting out the energy of not wanting to pay for things that cost money, what do you think is going to happen when you got something to sell? What do you think is going to happen when you have your services in the marketplace? What do you think is going to happen when you put out a product and you charge X number of dollars for it? What's everybody else going to do to you? They're going to do the same thing to you that you've been doing to those other people. So if it's hard for people to get money out of your pocket, it's going to be very hard for you to get money out of somebody else's pocket. If you are not willing to spend money on things that you know cost money, you try to get everything free, you want to be a freeloader. As soon as you got something to sell, as soon as you got a product, as soon as you have a service, everybody who's your customer is going to become a freeloader all of a sudden. Because the energy you put out is the energy that comes back to you. It is the law of karma. I think we all agree with the law of karma. We all agree that it is real. Then when you put out good, you get good. You put out bad, you get bad. You put out being cheap, people will be cheap with you. You will not make money if you're not willing to spend money. That's why they say it takes money to make money. Doesn't mean you got to be a millionaire to start making money, but it does mean when you have money and you try to be cheap with it, you don't want to come out of your pocket and spend on things you know that are worth it. As soon as you try to do the same thing and sell something, all of a sudden you're going to find nobody wants to spend any money because it's the same energy you put out. Understand that. And the energy that you have when it comes to being a consumer is going to reflect in the way you produce things. It's going to reflect, and people are going to reflect that energy right back to you. Everybody catch everything I just said there. So let me recap. Number one, make sure you own your work. Any work that you do, I'm going to take questions too. Get your questions ready. Any work that you do, make sure you own that work. So when you're no longer working, you still get the benefits, any benefits coming from that work. Number two, anything you decide to acquire that costs money, make sure you pay for it. Pay full price. Insist on paying full price for the things that you want. And number three, if you are cheap with other people, people are going to be cheap with you. When you are cheap, other people will be cheap with you. You don't want to pay for nothing, nobody's going to want to pay for anything you got. Those are the three tips when it comes to your mindset. This is all about mindset when it comes to money. No matter how much money you got. I don't care if you got $10 to your name right now or you got $10 million to your name right now. This is a mindset of the way that you spend, the way that you invest, and the way that you treat other people. Any extra tips? What, those three tips wasn't enough for you? What do you mean? If you want extra tips, you can go to DreAllDay.com/coaching and fill out the coaching form. Like a bonus, everything I just gave you is a bonus. I mean, you didn't pay for it, right? Money talks, bullshit walks. Absolutely. Can I take any questions? Anybody got a question? I'll take it. My name's Dre Baldwin. My website is called DreAllDay.com. I'm on Snapchat at Dre Baldwin. Is there greed associated? Yeah, if you're a greedy person and you try to get more than what you pay for, guess what people are going to do to you? Everything you do to other people is going to come back around to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an absolute guarantee. Anything you do to other people will come back around to you. Maybe not immediately, but it will come back. What time do I wake up every day? Or whatever time my eyes open. Whatever time my eyes open. Is there anything you stay consistently cheap with, though? For me, it's mouthwash. Well, if you're cheap with your mouthwash, who knows? Maybe when you go to the dentist, you might find out you've been using the wrong mouthwash. But I don't mean in menu tie like that. I think you understand the overall point of what I'm saying, right? I think you do. I mean, this ain't an elementary school class that I'm talking to. I think you get the point. My Snapchat is at Dre Baldwin. My website is called DreAllDay.com. If y'all listen to podcasts, I got a podcast called Work on Your Game. It comes out every single day. Where if you like what I just shared with y'all, I share this type of content every day on different topics. On the mental game is my main area of expertise. So that's mental toughness, that's confidence, that's self-discipline. Those are the topics that I talk about the most. But I talk about building a brand. I talk about money. I talk about business. Does that mean you go all out and not be cheap or have a balance? What does that mean? What do you mean have a balance? If you listen to everything that I just said, I don't think there's any what's the word I'm looking for? Vagueness there. First time here. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Wilson Jerry 38. What am I reading right now? I'm reading a book called Over the Top by a man named Zig Ziglar. He's not alive anymore, but he wrote a lot of books. He did a lot of speaking. If you look him up on like Apple Music or Spotify, you'll see his name, Zig Ziglar. You can listen to him speak. Yeah, Zig is great. He wrote his book like in the early 90s, probably before some of y'all was even alive, but it's a really good book. The stuff he wrote then still applies. You haven't been in here for a while? Well, you're here now. That's all that matters. Only time we ever got is now. What's my plan for today? I'm going to end this scope as soon as people get done asking me questions. I think I'm going to end it right there. Well, I'll do another TED Talk. My last TED Talk video didn't even come out yet, so you didn't even see my third TED Talk. It was in Las Vegas. Video should be out probably within the next month. Good morning to you, too. I didn't catch that name. Yes, Over the Top is the name of that book by Zig Ziglar that I'm reading right now. But he wrote a lot of books. The other one is called, I don't even remember the name. He wrote a bunch of books. Y'all got to look him up. Do I have any books on confidence mindset? Absolutely. The Mental Handbook, The Mirror Motivation, and The Super You, all on Amazon. Yes, I am an author. What's going on, Kelly? Good morning to you. Good morning, Canada. My books are all on Amazon. Go to DreAllDay.com/Amazon. If you prefer iBooks, just change that Amazon to iBooks. DreAllDay.com/iBooks. So my books are on both of those sites, but I got more books coming. I got a bunch of books I may put out by the end of this year. What are some morning affirmations that I like? A good place to find that would be on my course. It's called Bulletproof Mindset. Bulletproof Mindset. That's at DreAllDay.com/bulletproof. But also listen to my podcast. My podcast is called Work on Your Game, and I go over that stuff often. If you want something that you can take like a course and get detailed information, that's my course called Bulletproof Mindset. There is a cost associated, but if you want some free info to kind of sample how I am, what I'm about, just see how good the product is before you buy it, no problem. Go to my podcast. It's called Work on Your Game. That's the way you can sample the product before you buy it. All right, that's why I put it out like that. That's why I do these scopes. All right, so podcast is called Work on Your Game. Podcast, Work on Your Game. Everybody got that? If you go to any website and you write in Work on Your Game, whatever I got on that site is going to come up. All right, so iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Work on Your Game. Look me out. Look me up. All right. DreAllDay.com is my website. Any of y'all got a question that I did not answer or you didn't ask yet, hit me on Snapchat at Dre Baldwin. Snapchat at Dre Baldwin. I will respond to your question. Everybody have a great day. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. If you're on Snapchat, hit me on the Snap. My Snap name is at Dre Baldwin. You already know how that works. And I got a podcast, if you didn't know. It is called Work on Your Game. It is an everyday podcast where I talk about getting yourself into the right mindset, that bulletproof mindset. Getting yourself seen, heard, known, getting the exposure you want, and making things happen in your life instead of waiting for things to happen to or for you. Subscribe to that podcast. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Make sure you check it every single day. Make sure you're subscribed so you catch the heat. Work on your game.
Dre Ball, Dre Ball, Dre Ball. I feel like Dre Ball, Dre Ball, Dre Ball. I feel like Dre Ball, Dre Ball. I'm ballin'. I feel like Dre